Grandstand, it's time to get excited and make some noise as we welcome our players for our next match. From Czechia, it's Jiri Lehecka. Grandstand, make some noise for your number 6 seed. It's Andrey Rublev.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can ask. Look, I'll try and ask.
Because tell them blue, they are not really take the wet, and everything then is blue.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask. The ones we have at the moment are blue, but I'll ask.
I know, because the other level was so here with the blue was impossible. Yeah. It's all the hair. All the hair from the towel were all over, and it was not even taking the sweat.
Okay. So let's start with the review system here. I guess you played one round already. I don't know if you used it, but
replay,
what's that?
Replay?
Yeah, the replays. Yeah. So for not ups or touch on the net or something unusual, you can ask me and we can have a look. Otherwise, everything the same. Do you want to take the white one for the towels, and that means you take the red one? Any questions?
No.
Heads or tails?
Heads, please.
Heads. Yeah. Tails. Okay. What do you say? You stay here?
Yeah.
Okay, so up to you.
Receive.
You receive. So you serve from here. Got it. Thanks.
So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Grandstand Court. It's our third match of the day, and very much looking forward to this one. Andrey Rublev up against Jiri Lehecka. Rublev, the 6 seed, Lehecka, the 32 seed. My name is Adam Fielder, delighted to say that alongside me is a former US Open quarter-finalist, a former top tenner, Andrea Petkovic. Andrea, kind of fascinated by this one. Two great ball strikers. They both came through tough 5-set battles in their last round. What are we expecting from this one today?
Well, I'm hoping to see a fantastic match. I wonder how they will be today physically, because they both played on this incredibly hot day. They both came from 2 sets to love down, as you just mentioned, Adam. And this is a task. Both of them playing each other. And interestingly, Jiri Lehecka hasn't been on tour for so long, but they somehow managed to play each other already 4 times.
I was thinking that. When does that happen?
Yeah, they just keep running into each other.
Well, as we just saw, the weather conditions much nicer today than it was 2 days ago when they were both out here for 4 hours plus, coming through 5-setters. So that will please them both. But for Rublev, 4 hours and 9 minutes, his match against Artur Rinderknecht. He's had a bit of an interesting year, has Rublev. He's had some very good results. He's, of course, made 2 Masters 1000 finals, winning one of them and losing in Canada just a few weeks ago. But also some disappointing early exits as well, like a first-round exit at Wimbledon. Where would you say, Andrea, that Rublev is with his tennis at the moment?
Well, I think the season is not as bad as he at times talked about in interviews where he complained that it was not going well at all. I think he had a big letdown after that default in Dubai. I think you could just tell that he was rattled mentally, that he was struggling to understand what had happened and how he had this outburst. And now I called a few of his matches in Canada and Cincinnati. It seems to me as if he has settled again a little bit.
Yeah, and for his opponent, Jiri Lehecka, 4 hours and 3 minutes it took him in his last round against Mitchell Kruger, where he found himself 2 sets to love down, and he was 3 love down in the third as well. But, I mean, we've known about this guy's talent for years now, but just how impressed have you been, Andrea, with the tennis that he's displayed so soon after having 3 months off the court with that stress fracture in his back.
I was really surprised, I have to be honest, especially on that serve. He has the same miles per hour that he had before, and I had the same injury, the stress fracture in the lower back, and it really debilitates you on those serves. Even when you come back and hit from the baseline, you still need a bit longer to get those practice serves in. We saw it with Paula Badosa, who had the same thing.
2 minutes.
Who's still at times struggling with serve, but Jiri seems to be unbothered by all of it. He seems to be up and running as if nothing ever happened.
Yeah, a little look at their head-to-head. So it's tied at 2 apiece. They've only met once this year. That came in Indian Wells back in March. Lehecka won that in straights. Rublev won in Indian Wells last year. Lehecka won their only other one on a hard court. That was in Doha last year as well. That was 6-3 in the third. And Rublev also won their one and only meeting on the clay. There is John Blom, the once mustachioed John Blom, who unfortunately has got rid of that, which is a shame. And there is Fernande Vicente, who of course is Andrey Rublev's coach, has been for many years now. So tactically, Andrea, when we look at this match, what are we thinking today?
So I'm looking at Rublev's second serve. That's the one weakness in his game that a lot of guys tend to go after and put him under pressure. But whenever he is playing well, as an example, Madrid, the ATP 1000 Masters that you mentioned that he won, he had on average 80% first serve. That is an incredible number. And if he can produce similar numbers, doesn't have to be 80%, but he needs high numbers on the first serve percentage. That is the one thing. And the other thing is, how often can Lehecka get into the backhand of Rublev, maybe provoke a bit of a shorter ball, because Lehecka, when he has time, can create incredible power, as we will see off
30
of
seconds.
both wings, really, but can be wild at times as well if Rublev puts some pressure.
Yeah, Lehecka only 3 matches since Madrid, when he had to retire in that semi-final alongside Felix Auger-Aliassime. So yeah, just those 3 matches that he played in Cincinnati, where he beat Mariano Navoni, then Daniel Medvedev, remember, in straight sets in the second round before losing in a really tough one with Francis Tiafoe, 7-6 in the third. So pretty undercooked coming into this. But yeah, came through against Marton Fucsovics in round 1 by virtue of another retirement, actually. Fucsovics having to retire there. 3-love in the 4th. And yeah, just going to be interesting to see how much that 5-setter has taken out of both of them. So third match of the day out on grandstand, Andrey Rublev up against Jiri Lehecka for a 5th time. And this court will soon fill up once again. I think a few have just nipped out to maybe grab a honey juice, something else, come back in, settle in for the next few hours and enjoy this one. Rublev trying to steal Lehecka's white towels.
And you could hear Jiri actually saying, I brought this from the locker room. Paula Badosa earlier this morning did the same thing. So clearly the nice, beautiful towels are maybe not soaking up as much sweat, but they sure look good.
First set, Andrey Rublev to serve. Ready, play.
Oh!
Love 15.
It's good to see Rublev smiling on a tennis court, something you don't often see.
It is the first point, Adam.
Good point.
So.
It's time for that to change.
Oh!
Beautiful. That is his bread and butter, Andrey
15 all.
Rublev's, whenever he can control the center of the court with his forehand. He mostly also controls the outcome of the baseline rallies.
Thirty, 15. Forty, 15. Game, Rublev.
So despite the double fault to start off that opening game, Rublev
First game.
is off and running.
Oh!
Love 15.
And there was an issue in the previous round for Lehecka. That backhand down the line is a great shot of his, but he seemed to be misfiring that a lot until he gathered his strengths towards the end of the match. But we'll have a look at it as the match progresses.
Fifteen all. Thirty, 15.
First ace for Lehecka. It certainly won't be the last. He had 29 of them in his last round. That match in Cincinnati against Francis Tiafoe, he had 24 in 3 sets alone, so has been serving pretty well.
Yeah, you're absolutely
40,
right,
15.
Adam. His serve was part of the reason he did so well in Cincinnati. The courts there played super quick, a lot quicker than they do here in New York, and it was virtually impossible to return him.
Oh!
40, 30.
So you had a pretty similar injury to Jiri, did you say?
Yeah, I had also exactly the same, a stress fracture in my lower back, and it's a tough one because it's a bone, right? That it needs to heal, so you need to rest it as much as possible. But lower back, sitting is affecting it already. Lying down, standing up, how do you rest it? Tricky one. For Badosa, it took nearly 7 months to overcome it.
Deuce.
Yeah, because Jiri said when he kind of actually got over the initial pain of it, he kind of felt as though he could go to the gym, he could go and work out, but the doctor was like, do not do anything, you just need to rest it.
This is so true, because I did the mistake feeling well and doing the gym and whatnot, and I prolonged my injury time by being a little dumb. Or not listening. He did a much better job in listening to the doctors, let's put it this way.
Advantage, Lehecka. Game. Lehecka.
Yeah, another ace for Lehecka to come
One
through the
game
game,
all
but a
per
little bit
set.
of early encouragement there for Rublev.
Love 15.
And you could see the positioning of Lehecka on that second serve up on the baseline. You don't see that so often on the men's side, but Lehecka clearly knows that that's the shot to go after in today's match.
The complete opposite to what we saw from Carlos Alcaraz last night, who decided to return almost every second serve almost on the back fence until it was nearly too late, really. Eventually started to change it up in that third set.
30-15.
And Lehecka looks a bit like he did in the first two sets in his previous match, where he was just misfiring a lot.
Doesn't look like someone who wasn't allowed to go to the gym for 3 months, does he?
Definitely not. No, he's a specimen. Fantastic athlete. So powerful and explosive. Oh, wow, what a pickup.
40-30.
That's what he does so well, Andrey. He has that quick acceleration of the wrist, and if you ever have the pleasure of watching him practice, that's what he does in practice all the time. The coach feeds him balls from his hand, and he just works on accelerating that wrist. Came in helpful here.
Game.
Yeah, just misfiring
Rublev.
again. Here's Lehecka, so Andrey Rublev able to
Rublev
stay
leads
ahead
by
early stage
2
of this
games
opening
to 1
set,
per set.
leading by 2 games to 1.
Love 15.
Yeah, there is Michel Navratil in the baseball cap there, the younger brother, excuse me, the son of Yaroslav Navratil, the former Czechia Davis Cup captain. Actually won the Davis Cup, did Yaroslav Navratil as its captain. Used to work with Thomas Burdick, who of course has done a little bit of work with Jiri Lehecka as well.
15 all. Thirty, 15.
That's so good. So explosive,
40-15.
Lehecka.
Oh, wow.
40-30.
There's a lot of rotation that second serve of Lehecka, so Rublev is trying to take it with his forehand, try and have a bit more control on it.
Game, Lehecka.
Yeah, but another perfect first serve
2 games all.
for Lehecka. He's not made many of them, but when he has done, he's made them count. And I'm sure you all have it by now. But if you don't, you can download the US Open app. You can follow your favourite players. You can watch match highlights, get player news. You can watch live 3D views of all singles matches as well this year. And it's available on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store as well. Sure what Rublev is seemingly a little disgruntled about. John Blom is on the radio to someone. Did I just lip read towel?
I think he wants a white
Is he
towel.
still going on about the towels?
Yeah, I think so.
So the mistake was there and not there anyway.
Okay, maybe not about a towel.
Now you could see Lehecka trying to bail out of the forehand rallies, opting for the down the line. That was not a percentage shot per se. Four times a quarter-finalist here at the US Open is Andrey Rublev. Last year and 2022, 2020, and the first time he did so was 2017. Didn't miss by much.
Game, Rublev.
So straightforward holds for Rublev. Remains perfect behind his first serve so far. And stays ahead to lead 3-2. The 90s a couple of days ago. Gartha Rinduknesh, who Andrey Rublev played, he had a few things to say after that match. Said he drank 15 litres of water.
Wow.
Rublev was sat on his chair towards the end of that match and had drank so much water and had eaten so many bananas that his stomach was so bloated. And he said, I think I'm just about to have a baby girl. generate so much pace so effortlessly, can Lehecka.
15-all.
Yeah, beautiful technique. You can see how he sets up, takes all the energy from the legs, rotates through his upper body, and those muscles sure don't hurt.
That's true.
The power of the ground stroke.
30-15.
And a similar thing on the serve. He uses his legs and body so well, and his ball toss is near perfection on every single first serve. You can't read at all where he's going to go. It's always in exactly the same place.
Ooh. Well, he got the ball he was after. What happened on that forehand?
(40-13).
That's lovely.
Game.
Beautiful hands from Lehecka. First time we've seen him serve volley, I think, today. And levels things up, 3 games all. Mentioned Rublev 4 times a quarter-finalist here. Of course, it's now 10 quarter-finals in all Grand Slams. There's never been further than a Grand Slam quarter-final. He's had some pretty rough draws, Andrey. Do we think it's maybe a little mental now as well?
That's a question he can probably reply to better, but I think really I made the effort one time to look at all 10 quarterfinals. And except for 2, which was Tiafoe and Cilic, if I remember correctly, he always came up against one of the big ones, right?
Yeah, so here, I mean, last year it was Medvedev. 2022 was that one you mentioned against Tiafoe. 2020 was Medvedev. 2017 was Rafa. So yeah, possibly the only one he would have gone into as favourite maybe would have been the Tiafoe match.
Game.
Oh, he's flying here. Not a very straightforward hold.
Rublev leads by 4 games to 3 first set. Love 15.
They've just been lingering so far, and he's not making too many first serves either, so he's just putting a little bit more pressure on that second serve than he would like to right now. Great return from Rublev.
Love 30.
That one even better.
Love 14.
Insane timing on the line, 120 miles per hour serve. And I will say in this game, he's guessed 3 times and he's gotten them twice. Exactly correct.
Well, how about that? A break to love in about 60 seconds for Andrey Rublev, and now the number 6 seed will serve for the opening set. Rublev play tennis like that, just dictating that point.
15 love.
Both haven't made a lot of first serves, but look at this number. 100% won when he does find his first serve.
30 love.
And another one added to that collection.
Love.
These last 7 points, what is happening?
It's just unbelievable. And all of a sudden, 3-set points.
Game and
Well,
first set
what an end
Rublev.
to that opening set for Andrey Rublev. The return
16-3.
game that he played to get the break was just exceptional. And didn't drop a point behind his first serve in the entirety of that set. He takes it 6-3.
Fifteen love. Thirty love.
Seen a few miss hits
15.
off that forehand wing.
And that is the wing that he makes a lot of winners with. Incredibly powerful weapon. But when he gets nervous, it is also the wing that can break down on him at times. Frames it often in those cases. Just gets a bit rigid with his wrist.
15.
Where the hit point can go off by a few millimeters, and that's enough, unfortunately, in tennis.
Oh!
Game, Lehecka.
So one of the more straightforward service
First
games
game,
that Lehecka
second
has had.
set.
4 first serves made. Kind of connects his friends and his family with his tennis.
Oh, I like that.
Oh!
That's very nice.
Love 15.
Oh, yeah, it's clocked him. And Lehecka gets to love 30.
Love 30.
Thought Rublev was lost coming to the net there.
Yeah, he missed a few. I could see it now there. He missed a few steps. If he had gotten up to the net quicker, you can see it here, he's almost backing up. He would have gotten that first volley a bit better, in a better position above the net. Danger zone here for Andrey Rublev.
Love.
Where has this game come from?
Coaches. 30-40.
It just seems if Rublev can extend the rally over 3-4 shots, if he can just withstand the first few bombs Lehecka throws at him, he seems to have the upper hand.
Yeah, just like that. Good stuff from Rublev from love 40.
And there we have it. This production team is just a dream to work with. 7-1, yeah, that's how it did feel.
It's a heavy forehand. And he's got a fourth opportunity here.
Juice.
And I like the audacity to go for a big shot there, but I don't think this was the right one to go that down the line. I think hit it through the center of the court, then you would have gotten a short one and then go for the corner. That's still high risk, but it's just a little bit less risk than going for that straight up winner down the line with the backhand above the highest part of the net.
Rublev.
It's a massive hold for Andrey Rublev. Love 40 down, 4 break points have come and gone there for Lehecka, and he levels things up. How good do you think Jiri Lehecka can become, Andrea? And to reach his potential, what areas of his game do you think needs work on?
I really think he can be a top 10 player. I think he will be a top 10 player, to be honest.
30 left.
I think he could come even more to the net. I think the serve and volley could come once a service game, because his game should be that of a disruptor, of a, think Ben Shelton, Nick Kyrgios, these kind of, with just that athleticism as well. The one thing I see with him, sometimes he gets very rigid when it becomes close, right? He wants it so much that he tightens up in his whole body. And I think if he could work on fine coordination, a few loose things, how to loosen up, stretching, use Novak example as the opposite example, who's very agile, right? But he could just get 5% of that Novak Djokovic agility. I think he could be very dangerous in the big tournaments, absolutely.
40-15.
Had his breakout run last year, didn't he, at the Australian Open when he made the quarterfinals there, beating some good players along the way. Coric, Eubanks, Norrie, Auger-Aliassime, eventually lost to Tsitsipas. Had a good run at Wimbledon as well, making the 4th round there. So just showing that he can do it on a variety of different surfaces. Obviously made the semi-finals in Madrid, that Masters 1000 tournament earlier this year on the clay. Just makes it look so easy when he's on Lehecka. This has been a good start to the second set for him. Did well to
15 love.
deal with that return there, Rublev. Who is your pick to win the men's this year, Andrea? Or is he already out?
He is already out. Oh, that's a good... I had Carlos, actually.
40 love.
Zabalenka is my pick on the women's side, and Carlos was my pick until yesterday night. That went off. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say Alexander Zverev.
Okay. Yeah, definitely in the conversation. Everything that's going on with Sinner. Quite sure what he's going to be like mentally.
Yeah, just question of how much energy has he expended before the tournament already. Had he started?
Rublev. 2 games all.
Well, remember, usopen.org is your online home for point-by-point live scoring, highlights, real-time stats and draws. You can visit the official tournament site at usopen.org.
Well, and remember, Adam, Rublev, when he broke, he was choosing a side, and he got it right twice, which was enough to get to a love 40 lead. With a double fall in the mix of Lehecka, maybe he should just, on the first serves at least, pick a slide slightly.
Love 15.
That's good stuff from Rublev. Picked the side and hit a good return there.
Will he pick a side again? What will he do? Or will he try to react? Big moment here.
Oh!
Good deep return.
Love 40.
Well, he broke at love in the opening set, and he may well do exactly the same here. Remember, Rublev has already held from love 40 in set 2.
$15.40.
Oh!
30-40.
Big second serve here by Lehecka. Took the risk. Did not want Rublev moving around using that forehand. So risked the slice wide. Got away with it.
Andrey Rublev in that backhand corner, and Lehecka went straight back to him. In fairness to Rublev, he still had lots of work to do with that backhand pass. And he is in control, a set and a break in front.
$15 love.
to get back over there, Rublev, but again, nice hands from Lehecka when he's come forward.
15 all.
Man, I really think he should try and come forward more often, of course, as long as Rublev allows. But he's been very secure up there. And it's impressive for the opponent when a guy as big and powerful as Lehecka shows up there.
Such a good return.
15,
no means out of the
30.
second set just yet, Lehecka. It's unplayable.
30 all.
That did really well. He missed an opportunity to move forward. He's not. That's not his favorite.
It's not.
Space on the tennis court. Let's put it this way.
Let's for service.
Just rushing it onto
30-40.
Rublev. So here's another chance, his fifth of this set.
Yeah, much better job in staying patient into the backhand of Rublev. And he felt the need to change down the line to get back in the forehand side. Got the unforced error.
Oh, it's wide.
Lehecka.
And Lehecka breaks straight back.
3 games all. Second
The
set.
second point that he's lost behind his first serve today, Rublev.
Four of them come out of the same can, so there's a chance that 2 are different.
Just complaining about one of the balls, I think, there, Rublev. Extended rallies that goes the way of Rublev.
Love 15.
Yeah, that was an incredible slice, so low, and Jiri actually did amazingly well with it. But Rublev had the court awareness to move forward right away, realizing that was the only thing Lehecka could do from this position.
Second serve. Love 30.
That's his fourth double.
And that is much better if you
15,
remember the
30.
break point that he lost. He tried to attack cross court, and you open up all the angles for the opponent to pass you, unless it's a very, very good approach shot, possibly even a winner. down the line is the way to go when you know you're rushing the net afterwards.
Oh.
Attention.
Again, the cross-court approach opened up the angle.
Juice.
Right on the line. First real change-up we've seen in terms of the drop shot, I think, from Lehecka. Dragging Rublev into an area of the court that he's not particularly comfortable with.
Game.
That's a massive hold, 136 miles an hour, that one, by far his quickest of the day.
4 games to 3, second set.
And Lehecka stays
First
ahead at
set,
4-3.
New balls, please. Love.
Oh.
15-all.
I'll be frustrated here. Rublev just allowed Lehecka back in, having been a set and a break in front. Just that one slightly sloppy service game that he threw in. Really struggling behind his second serve. Just 2 of 10 points, one behind it in this set.
Oh.
15-30.
Yeah, just a bit of a mental lapse here. Drop in intensity and energy. Needs to be very careful. Stares out at the box at his coach. I wonder Adam, sometimes whether that's part of the reason why he hasn't gotten further than quarterfinals. He's so intense and high energy all the time.
Yeah.
And a Grand Slam tournament is a 2-week event, and sometimes that's not easy to maintain.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh.
40-30.
Lehecka is really letting this slip. You have to have this awareness of what's going on the other side, when it's sometimes enough to just make the ball with a bit of depth and see what is going on with your opponent.
Okay, important first serve that he finds to come through the game.
4 games all.
Was there anything you did differently during a Grand Slam, Andrea, to deal with the whole 2-week process?
I would definitely eat more, which sounds random, but I would burn a lot more calories from the stress. Because you want to do so well at a major tournament, of course, and it's 2 weeks, so you practice even more intensely than you usually do, and you just burn a lot of energy. Just try to take the days off really as a day off. Well done. Lehecka has definitely gotten better. Oh, yeah, and here we come. Lehecka has definitely gotten better in those longer rallies, is able to hang longer with Rublev.
Well, we'd gone an hour without him hitting himself, which isn't bad. As his fitness coach Marcus, just to the right of Fernando Vicente, started working with him in about April last year. Said it was a tough one. And there he is in the sunglasses without the hat. People are allowed to hit lines. Well, fair enough.
Okay. That is a fair complaint for anybody. We allow you to yell at this, Andrey. That is absolutely allowed.
Jiri Lehecka.
Love. Game, Lehecka.
Yeah, with a big first serve, 136 miles an hour, equals his quickest of the day so far.
5 games to 4, 7
Rublev now serving to stay in the second set at 4-5. So serving to stay in set 2 here. Andrey Rublev, a break apiece in this set.
Love.
Oh.
Love.
Fantastic extra bit of pace on Rublev's forehand, but Lehecka has really made some adjustments here in the second set, using the slice every now and then to change the rhythm up. Is able to stay in those longer rallies better than he was in the first set.
40 love. Game Rublev.
Okay, under a bit of pressure, but comes through the game very quickly.
5 games all.
Yeah, I was mentioning Rublev's fitness coach that he brought on board last year, and he said it was quite a tricky one to know kind of what to do with him, because he said he's 6'2", but he only weighs 75 pounds, and it's like, do you then add a load of muscle? But they came to the conclusion actually adding muscle probably wouldn't make him hit the ball any harder, because he's just got such a loose arm and a quick arm.
Yes!
15 love.
So in the end, it was just improvements in kind of his coordination, his footwork, his speed across the court. That's what they've really been working on in the last year or so.
Oh!
That is the problem that Rublev faces when he goes for too much. He risks those mistakes that he got annoyed with in the first point. But when he just drops it in, it's Lehecka all over those short balls. So you really have to walk a fine line.
Thirty, 15.
Lehecka credits Michel Navratil for having the biggest impact on his tennis career.
30 all.
Navratil's idea to bring in a mental coach as well. Lehecka said he really used to struggle, got very down on himself during matches. A lot of negative thoughts that were going through his mind, but yeah, says that working with both Navratil and his mental coach has just completely changed that thought process around. Job, Rublev, to make the volley a tricky one, but
30, 40.
Lehecka will feel as though he possibly should have made it. And it's 3 points in a row here for the 6th seed.
Yes.
Ace. Number 9 very quickly puts pay to that.
Oh!
And that's been very effective from Rublev whenever he gets that
Advantage,
hard,
Rublev.
fast-paced with a good depth hit forehand, not even into the forehand of Lehecka, but more kind of into the forehand body, like just off the center. And he doesn't do enough adjustment steps here.
Oh, wow. There's a brave forehand to take on, break point down.
Advantage, Lehecka. Juice.
Oh, that was not the right shot to go after.
Rublev.
He had to lift. That was another excellent return for Rublev. Had to lift that and then decided to run forward.
That's rock solid from Andrey Rublev. And for the second time in this second set, the number 6 seed leads with the break. And in a couple of moments' time, he will serve for a 2-sets-to-love lead. Serve this one out for a 2-sets-to-love lead. The last time he broke, remember, in this set, he was broken immediately back. That could have been very awkward.
That was very nearly so, yeah. And that was smart, taking off a bit of that first serve. Rublev rolled it in. Because he knows he's better in those longer rallies. Yes, Lehecka has caught up, but not quite yet.
15-all.
Wants to have a look at this return on the big screen, Rublev.
Replay of the call on the right baseline, please.
$30, 100 miles per hour. That is not very fast, but I really think that is the way to go here. If he wants to serve this out securely, he's only winning 30% of second serves.
$40-15.
So 2 set points. Andrey Rublev in control, out on grandstand, but remember, Jiri Lehecka was 2-sets-to-love down in his last round, so maybe Jiri has him right where he wants him.
There is still some residue of that break, must be.
Only his second event back, actually.
Yeah,
only played Cincy, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, did I see him in Montreal?
Yeah, the injury in Madrid, that was back on the 3rd of May, but he said it had been kind of building that week.
And that is actually very typical. That
15
the second event is the more complicated one, because you expect nothing in your first
True,
event back. You just play freely. You mostly play well, and then you're like, oh, I still got it. And he did really well to get through 2 rounds, best of 5 after an injury like that already.
Yeah, didn't start hitting balls again until the 7th of July, so had pretty much 2 months without hitting a single tennis ball. He said after about 10-15 minutes he went to hit with his coach, Michel Navratil, and they were both actually laughing about just how bad it was.
Yeah, probably a bit of a breeze picking up, probably serves even later than ground strokes.
Looking rather ominous here for Lehecka. 2 break points for Rublev. He did that in Cincinnati so many times, Lehecka, in that match against Daniil Medvedev. Every time Medvedev had a look at a break point, he would just throw down a 130-mile-an-hour plus ace.
Yes.
Winner of this one, remember, to take on the winner of the match between Talon Griekspoor and Grigor Dimitrov. Can tell you that Dimitrov took the first set there, 6-3. They're on serve in the second. Yeah, just a little short, and Rublev capitalised. And a nice angle with that backhand, another chance coming up.
Yeah, tried to change the rhythm, but this dropped way short.
There it is again.
Yes.
A good skill to have. Serve your best under pressure.
Advantage, Rublev.
Yeah, it's been a common theme, hasn't it? Right from the start, Andrea picked up on it very quickly. Those extended rallies, 5 to 8 shots. Rublev winning 14 of the 19 today. He's done it again.
Yes.
And maybe Rublev just needs to go back to the old faithful and pick a side on the first serve. Was very successful with that a few times, especially in that first set.
Advantage, Rublev.
First break point that he hasn't found a first serve in this game. Pretty decent second though.
Yeah, great placement on top of pace into the body. Jamming Rublev, who was moving forward, trying to take the second serve on the rise.
Just such a good point.
Advantage Rublev.
And maybe now I would just take half a step to the right if I was Rublev and take that tee away, which he made 3 incredible serves on. Break point, the wide serve he attempted, he missed. So let's see what he does here.
Oh, well, he did a good job.
Nicely done. He's an agent of chaos. There are no rules. Well done. It's really good when you don't have these predictable patterns.
Yeah.
Because these players pick up on that.
Well, of course, all the coaches these days have their tablets in front of them, don't they, with all that kind of information fed into them.
Advantage Lehecka.
Just bossing all of these rallies at the moment.
He's really exposing Lehecka's movement today, moving the ball around from left to right, not letting Lehecka set up for his big strokes. Really has neutralized him well when it comes, and here we have it again, just to underline what we've been talking about already, Adam, for a while. Those longer rallies, so well contested by Rublev.
Advantage Lehecka. Juice.
I think this, by some distance, the longest game of this match. Just coming up to 10 minutes. He's done a good job of just keeping calm here, Rublev, because he's had 6 chances that have passed him by.
Advantage Rublev.
Brilliant from Rublev. He decided to gamble, pick the serve again. His favourite, Lehecka, and well, he tried his best there, Lehecka, to bail himself out of trouble, but it is lucky number 7 as far as Rublev is concerned.
Love down in that match as well.
And a breakdown.
And a break.
So he's in the exact position here.
15 love.
But against, no disrespect to Mitchell Kruger, but against a much higher ranked opponent today in Andrey Rublev.
Oh.
15-all.
What do you think separates Rublev, Andrea, from the names that we always discuss to go on and actually win these kind of tournaments? Why is he not in that conversation?
I really think it's the second serve. Unfortunately, he loses too many points on those second serves.
Let's for service.
And I mentioned it at the top before we started this match. The tournaments he did win,
30-15.
like example, even in Montreal, where he reached the final, beat Sinner, world #1, he has an average of 78–80% of first serve. That's how he wins those big matches.
So if he's slightly off,
40-15.
Exactly.
yeah.
And then the big guys, you know, and when you run into those big guys in the quarters, they are all over it, and they are full in the full prowess of their abilities.
Game. Rublev.
And he either needs to find a way to make his second serve a bit more effective,
2 games to love.
because he always has a
Third
little
serve.
bit of slice on it. So a lot of men can use their forehand, and a lot of men have a better forehand and control the baseline rallies right off the bat. Either if he can get a bit more kick on it or get more pace on it, or he really needs to be diligent about his first serve and just practice over and over again and get up to 75–80% on a regular basis, which is very hard to do.
15 love.
Oh.
30 love. Love. Game.
Yeah.
Lehecka.
Nicely done from Lehecka. But he faces an almighty uphill
Rublev
task here.
2
2 sets to love down and a break, trailing 2-1. Well, he's got to just try and stay positive here, Jiri Lehecka. He has had 5 breakpoint chances throughout this match, so he's proven that he can cause Rublev a few problems on his serve.
15 love.
Not if he keeps finding angles like that.
Oh.
15-all.
You could see there on the second serve, he plays it like a kick, but it always
30.
moves towards the left. It doesn't really jump up. Here we have it. Hasn't won a point yet on the second serve, Rublev.
His first serve today has been crazy good. 36 of 38 points won behind it.
And that backhand down the line, really letting Lehecka down, not only today, in the previous match too, just couldn't quite find it. And that's such an important shot for him to set up for his big forehand that he possesses.
40-30. Game.
So good holds in the end.
Please.
15-30 down.
Rublev leads 3 games to 1.
Well, you can, of course, stay connected to the US Open on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and WhatsApp. You can join the conversation with hashtag US Open. Let us know what you've made of the first week of the US Open, who's going to potentially go on and win it.
Let's go so. Love. Love. 30-15.
If Lehecka does go on and lose this match, which at the moment it looks as though that's probably going to be the case, will he be pretty happy with where his game is at, Andrea, for someone that had 3 months out of the game?
On the court at the net. New player.
30.
Unleashed, new level of a computer game. Love it. I think he should be. I know him a little bit. I used to play in the same Czech team as him. And what makes him so strong is his perfectionism. He wants to do so well. He wants it so much. And I think that will always have him be hard on himself. Even though I personally think he should be very happy beating Medvedev on his favorite surface in Cincinnati in his first event back here, getting through 2 rounds, which for me is always the harder part, the second event back, the second tournament back. And especially physically sustaining that 5-setter in that heat, I think he should be very happy with where he is. He's still so young. Only 22 years old. He has a long career ahead of him.
Good. Advantage, Lehecka. Game, Lehecka.
Well, who knows how important that could be. Saves the break point to prevent him falling a double break down there.
2 sets to love.
And is certainly staying in touch at 3-2.
Love 15. All.
He won 76% of points behind his first serve in his last match, did Rublev. He's up at 93% today, so really hasn't given Lehecka too much to look at.
$15, 30.
There's a good return, though.
15, 14.
Kind of felt like that previous game when Rublev had the chance to go a double break up might be an important one.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so right.
30,
Took
40.
a bit of that negative energy with him into the beginning of this game, but he saved a love 40 deficit before.
Oh, it's wide.
Game,
Back
Lehecka.
on serve. He thought about throwing the racket.
3 games all. Third set.
Oh no, he thought about throwing the wristband.
That's not as satisfying though as throwing the racket, so better to refrain from it. He's still very much in this. 2 sets to love up. Lehecka is struggling physically a bit. Fatigue is creeping in.
Love 15.
I mean, he might get away with it today, but later in the tournament, throwing games like that when you're on top of the match, a couple of sets and a break in front. So it's looking like it's probably going to be Grigor Dimitrov in the next round. He's now 2 sets to love up on Talon Greek Sport. Good day for Talon's twin brother, Scott, who was in Botic van der Zandschulp's box last night, beating Carlos Alcaraz.
30, 15. $40-15.
Again, fantastic serving from Lehecka. Nothing Rublev can do. Very precise.
Oh.
(40-30).
He had quite a few double faults early on in this match, Lehecka, but he's seemingly kept them at bay for the last hour or so.
Oh.
Oh, it's all turnarounds
Lehecka.
in this third set. Looked as though Rublev was going to cruise his way to a straight sets win, but perhaps not anymore. Lehecka 4-3 in front.
15 left.
Oh.
15 all.
I wonder if Lehecka is just thinking about what happened 2 days ago. I was 2 sets to love down, I was a break down. Exactly the same here, now he's back on serve.
Very much needed from Rublev. He's been off the last 2-3 games, just missing forehands.
30-15.
His shot that he builds the entire point with, left and right, just seemed flustered that he's not in the locker room yet. He can feel that Lehecka is struggling. And the second serve is not helping.
Yeah, it's his second double fault in the game.
Only winning 14%. And both have 6 double faults, but as you mentioned, Adam, 2 of those came in this game, and he started the previous service game with a double fault as well.
Yeah, he's won just 1 point behind a second serve in this set, has Rublev. Took a little bit of the pace off.
40-30.
An incredible angle.
And I think that's the way to go for him, especially in a match like this where he's the dominant force in those baseline, in those neutral baseline rallies. Take a bit off, make it. Hit an ace, that's what I'm saying.
4-game all, third set.
Oh. Oh.
Love 15.
As I was saying, Lehecka has seemingly sorted out those double faults. He's now had a couple in the last 2 games.
Oh.
Love 30.
Wow, what a point. Incredible depth from Lehecka.
15-30. All.
That's the point we were talking about earlier. It's not even fully cross-court. It's through the center of the court into the forehand side. That shot has been troubling Lehecka today because he's tired, fatigued. And it's not like he can't stand on his feet anymore. He's still playing well. But those little adjustment steps, that dynamic little steps that you need, they are just a bit off today.
Oh.
Gift that is to Rublev.
Rublev leads
certainly
5
didn't hit the return as he wanted to. It landed middle of the court. But Lehecka dumps the forehand in the net in a couple of moments. Rublev will serve for a spot in the last 16. So Andrey Rublev serving for the match.
15 love. All.
Three first serves. He is serving for the match. For Rublev, found his rhythm again, seemingly.
40-15.
And another first serve brings him 2 match points.
Oh.
$40-30. Game, center match, Rublev.
Seal with the ace.
6-3, 7-5, 6-4.
In the Sweet 16 here at the US Open. He'll be delighted to get it done in straight sets after the marathon match that he played a couple of days ago in the extreme heat. And it looks as though it might be Grigor Dimitrov up next for Rublev. All credit to Jiri Lehecka. Good US Open for him after the injury struggles and the 3 months out with the back injury. No doubt we will be seeing the best of Lehecka over the next few months. But it is Rublev safely through, gets it done 6-3, 7-5, 6-4. Andrea, your assessment?
Rock solid performance, just a few wobbles here and there. He still is very hard on himself, and I think he profited off a fatigued Lehecka who just couldn't get in position quite as well as he usually does. But Rublev, boy, when he's making his first serve, he's looking mighty good. And for most of the match, he's played very, very well.
So he will just pack his stuff together, and hopefully we'll be able to hear from Rublev in the next few minutes. Yeah, Dimitrov is flying towards victory, so it certainly looks as though it's going to be him. Played each other 7 times, have Rublev and Dimitrov, and Rublev has won 4 of those 7, including right here at the US Open back in 2017 when Rublev made his first ever US Open quarter-final. And we can go down and hear from the number 6 seed now. He's going to be speaking with James Sanadoukis.
Well, Andrey, well played through in around 2 hours. You looked very relaxed on court today. Listen, no such thing as an easy match in tennis, but that one, fairly straightforward, straight sets victory. You're through to the next round. Well played.
I mean, first of all, Jiri is an unbelievable player. We played many times. He beat me, especially the last time. He beat me really easy. And I don't know, I was preparing that. I really need to perform today. I really need to play well because it's going to be really tough. And in the end, I'm happy that I was able to win in 3 sets, especially after the second round, where I struggled a lot and was 5 sets. So and at this stage, this is really important.
Yeah, I was going to mention your last match, of course, was a 5-setter classic. You had to come back from 2 sets down in that one. It's much nicer and much easier when you do it in straight sets, isn't it?
Of course. I mean, not always you come back from when you are 2 sets to love. And all these moments are special in the end. When you win this kind of matches, of course, you don't want to be in this situation, but when you win them, it's special.
Andrey, it's been a good year for you on the rest of the circuit, and you've hit a milestone, 200 weeks inside the top 10. It's fantastic, isn't it, folks? Just reflect on that personal achievement and how you feel about how your game's going at the minute.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see if I can keep being in this position, or if I can keep improve. If I will be able to improve, it will be amazing.
Well, listen, you're playing very good tennis. Just finally, I know you and Daniil Medvedev are good friends off the court, aren't you? Listen, no friends on the court, but off the court, you guys get on pretty well. He recently said his emergency contact in tennis would be you. What's your response to that, and who would be your emergency contact?
What?
Emergency contact, someone he'd call in an emergency.
I definitely would not call him because he don't care. He will be sleeping, or he will not reply at all. So definitely not him.
Shots fired. We love it. Listen, well done, man. Appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next round. Andrey Rublev, everybody.
That's a great answer from Andrey Rublev. Yeah, not a man to call in a crisis, Daniil Medvedev.
He would be sleeping.
Yeah.
Is he sleeping so much?
Yeah, obviously. Who would have been your tennis emergency contact back in the day?
My first thought was Angie Kerber, but now thinking of Andrey's answer, I would actually make that Julia Gagas, because she was so organized and she had everything in place. She's the one to call.
Okay. So a few tennis balls smacked up into the crowd. Great hands.
Yeah.
Oh, he's throwing it as well. Sure, that's going to do the shoulder much good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can go and rest up. Knows they'll have tomorrow off. And a look at the numbers from that one, Andrea.
Yeah, it was basically all Andrey Rublev. We talked about it. Lehecka was just a bit off, a few steps off, and we see it in the forced errors. The moment Rublev managed to get a bit of pace and depth on, Lehecka was struggling a lot. And the first serves, when they found the court, were mighty effective today. Andrey Rublev with a rock-solid performance. And another ginger head man into the next round. Gotta love it.
Is it ginger or strawberry blonde?
Strawberry blonde, I love that.
So Rublev confirmed into the last 16, and yeah, it'll either be Dimitrov or Talon Griekspoor, but Dimitrov is 2 sets to love up and 4-1 up in the third, so you'd imagine it will be an 8th installment of the Rublev-Dimitrov story. So looking forward to that one. Really good section of the draw here, isn't it? Shelton Tiafoe, they're out on ash at the moment. Popyrin and Djokovic will be back later in the night session. They start the night session out on ash, not before 7 p.m. But we're 3 matches down on grandstand. Up next, it is Jerry Shang of China up against the number 8 seed Casper Ruud. So make sure you're back with us for that one. That'll be getting underway in about 5 minutes' time. But thank you to you, Andrea. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much,
and
Adam.
From myself, Adam Fielder, it's goodbye for now.
From Czechia, it's Jiri Lehecka. For your number 6 seed, it's Andrey Rublev.
Heads, yeah. Tails. T30. T15. And second set, Rublev. Fuel. Game, center match, Rublev. 6-3, 7-5, 6-4.